As conflict between Russia and Ukraine escalates, the head of the United Nations Nuclear Watchdog Agency, Rafael Grossi, has issued a stark warning about the potential for a nuclear accident in the volatile region. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, chief urged both sides to exercise maximum restraint to avoid a catastrophe as fighting intensifies near the Kursk Nuclear Power Plant, NPP, in Russia. On August 9th, Russia announced it was bolstering its military presence in the Kursk region, responding to a rare and unexpected ground assault launched by Ukrainian forces on Russian soil. The move marks an escalation in the conflict, which has predominantly been waged within Ukrainian territory since Russia's full-scale invasion began over 2 years ago. Grossi, the Director General of the IAEA, expressed deep concern over the ongoing military activities near the Kursk NPP, which houses 6 nuclear reactors. While 2 reactors are currently shut down and 2 others are under construction, 2 remain fully operational, raising fears of a possible nuclear incident.
At this juncture, I would like to appeal to all sides to exercise maximum restraint in order to avoid a nuclear accident with the potential for serious radiological consequences.
The IAEA has been closely monitoring the situation, with Grossi emphasizing that he remains in direct contact with the relevant authorities in both Russia and Ukraine. He assured the international community that he would continue to provide updates as the situation unfolds. The Kursk NPP is not the only nuclear facility in the region facing heightened risks. Grossi also issued a warning about several fires near the Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant, ZNPP, in Ukraine. He highlighted the vulnerability of the off-site power supply to the ZNPP, which remains critical despite all reactors being in a cold shutdown state.
The off-site power supply to the ZNPP remains vulnerable, and any threat to the operability of the last 2 power lines is extremely concerning. The reliability of off-site power is still a major risk to nuclear safety and security at the ZNPP, and action must be taken to protect these remaining lines.
The escalating violence comes as Ukraine's military launched an unexpected ground assault into Russian territory earlier this week, catching Moscow off guard. The assault marks a significant shift in the war, which has largely seen Russian forces pushing into Ukraine rather than the reverse. In response to the escalating conflict, the United States has reaffirmed its support for Ukraine, announcing an additional $125 million in military aid. The package, which includes Stinger missiles, HIMARS rocket systems, and anti-tank missiles, is intended to bolster Ukraine's defense against Russian assaults. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed gratitude for the continued U.S. support, particularly highlighting the critical role of the new aid package.
This package's Stinger, HIMARS, and various anti-tank missiles, as well as 155 mm ammunition and other equipment, are vital for our forces to counter Russian assaults. It is critical that the United States continues to take strong steps and demonstrate leadership in protecting Ukrainian freedom and European stability. We appreciate the United States' support from the very first days of Russia's full-scale invasion, which has already allowed us to save many lives together.
As the conflict continues to intensify, the potential for a nuclear accident looms large, with the international community closely watching the unfolding situation in Kursk and beyond. The head of Russia's Presidential Council for the Development of Civil Society and Human Rights, Valery Fadeyev, announced plans to appeal to international organizations to recognize Ukraine's recent actions in Russia's Kursk region as terrorist acts. Faddeev told TASS that the attacks, which have resulted in civilian deaths, including that of a pregnant woman and injured children, are not merely collateral damage, but deliberate killings.
Right now, I am drafting an appeal to relevant international bodies, including human rights ones, with a demand to recognize the terrorist nature of the Kiev regime's actions in the Kursk region. And these are not just collateral damage, which unfortunately happens in combat. These are deliberate murders. A pregnant woman was killed. There are injured children and wounded in the back at that. Civilian vehicles are being targeted. The Gornal St. Nicholas Belagorsky Monastery was shelled and partially destroyed with one person killed.
Faddeev cited the targeting of civilian vehicles and the shelling of the Gornal St. Nicholas Belagorsky Monastery, which left one person dead. Faddeev's appeal seeks to have the international community acknowledge the terrorist nature of the Kiev regime's actions in the region. Meanwhile, the Russian Defense Ministry reported that the storm of attacks included 19 combined strikes using high-precision weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. These strikes were not merely tactical. They struck at the heart of Ukraine's military-industrial complex, targeting energy facilities, air defense systems, and critical arms depots. The impact of this barrage was felt deeply across the Ukrainian front lines, with casualties soaring to approximately 13,925 Ukrainian soldiers over the week, according to TASS. In the Kursk region, Russian forces have been engaged in a fierce defense against Ukrainian incursions. Battle Group North, tasked with this critical area, reported successful repulsions of enemy advances and has inflicted around 945 casualties since the beginning of the attack. Their operations resemble a fortified bastion, successfully fending off waves of assault, each defense maneuver reinforcing their hold on the region.